Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. So I did say I was going to come on today, and here I am. I had thought to do a deep dive into how April will go for the Felon, but of course we have news that sort of preempts that. Although I might still look, but I thought that maybe what I would first look at, because it's probably, uppermost in everybody's mind, is what is the news that, of course, we woke up to this morning that, a lot of people have been seeing coming down the pike for a while, which is this illegal, unsanctioned by Congress act of war, declaration of war that the felon has engaged us in uh, with his buddy, the genocidal uh, Bibi Netanyahu. So I think what I'd like to do is just, start with an open-ended question. Why now has this war been waged by the felon? Now, I'm just going to say at the outset, I know it might sound odd to say this, but it always all comes back to the files. So, in my opinion, not that anybody asked, but it's my channel, so I guess I can say what my opinion is. And then the cards can let me know whether I'm on the right track or not, right? My opinion is uh, that it is a distraction. It is quite a huge distraction. A girls' school was obliterated with girls in it. Among other people, supposedly the leader of Iran, Khomeini, has been killed as well. So it's quite the distraction, I'd say. Uh, but also, we are talking about greed, right? We know that the felon has always said we should have Iran's oil. And we know that Netanyahu, his evil twin, wants Iran. He has said on more than one occasion that his intention is to take over that land because that's what they do, Israel. Uh, but I just want to know what the cards have to say about what the reason is for taking this action now, and then we can look deeper. Why this act of war now? And I'm going to use the scythe because that is the card for war. And we know that before I pull, we have ostensibly been told that the reason for the war is that Iran is a nuclear power and we wanted to divest them, remove from them the power to use nuclear weapons. We also know that there had been a pact about that during Obama's presidency. We also know that the felon tore that pact up. So it's clearly not about that. I'm just saying. All right, let's see what the cards have to say. So we're looking for the scythe. Deep in the deck, but I still have two cards in my hand. So here's the scythe. This stands for the war that we just waged on Iran. And I'll pull some clarifiers on these. And then I'll even pull a three-card postscript. My table is so small, but I will do my best. Okay. All right. So that you can see everything, I always hold it all up, right? So our line of five is the house, the fox, the scythe, and this stands for the attack on Iran, the garden, and the young man. So this was the White House allied with a foreign power. That foreign power would be Israel, of whom we apparently are the vassal state. But anyway, so the White House and a foreign power made this decision to attack. And the garden, remember that the garden is the public. I can mirror it with the fox. So this is obviously you can't miss it. It's a very outward facing move. It's an outward facing declaration of allyship with the genocidal state of Israel, which is interesting as well, to make it very clear. And, bottom line, this is my card for, you know, it was ultimately reckless, bold and reckless, because that can be how this energy is, this yang energy is. We're gonna go in there and we're gonna, I don't even know what. I mean, I don't think they have the after plan for what happens once this war has been, uh, this attack has been made, this leader has been killed. I don't think they thought past that particularly. It's just a bully move. So now we take again the house, which stands for the White House here, and the clarifiers are the dog, the mice, and the clouds. So this is the White House, again, with their ally, of whom we are the vassal state, Israel. We are the vassal. Israel is the power broker here. But anyway, the ally um, hopes to sort of get people distracted, running around like chickens with their heads cut off, or like mice scattering in a a kitchen where the light's just been turned on, trying to get people all worked up, and as always, to distract, to distract. Second card is the fox. This would be a foreign power. In this case, we're talking about Israel. And the clarifiers are the bouquet, the key, and the bear. I mean, they are working, the Felon's administration and the Netanyahu administration are working hand in glove, um, doing this favor for each other. Um, and again, it's a bully move, meaning it's the move of bullies. I'm not saying that that was a great regime, but I mean, is this what we're going to do now? Is this the guy who said we were going to end the forever wars? Because it seems like we're hitting country after country, um, and claiming that it's because they have oppressive regimes, first Venezuela, now Iran. Is that, and we've got boots on the ground, of course, in Nigeria. I mean, is this the plan? But here again, it just feels like one hand washing the other, Israel and the US, and doing favors for each other. The scythe is in the middle and it stands for the attack on Iran. And the clarifiers are the ship, the book, and the scales. So they did this mission. They moved ahead without knowing whether or not they would get legal approval for it. This is about things we don't know. They didn't care. They just thought, we'll hit now and ask questions later. That's what they did. This is the law. You're not, a president cannot declare war, which he did declare it. He said out of his mouth, this is a war. President cannot declare war without the approval of Congress, the written approval of Congress. So I'm curious as to whether there'll be a penalty to pay for this. I mean, meanwhile, the people who are killed will remain dead, but you know. Um, Fourth card is the garden, and remember that that's my card for the public. And the clarifiers are the sun, young woman, and Clover. And again, the public as a whole at this point is not dumb. They are well aware that this was a short-sighted distraction technique to distract from what? The girls, the children, the files. Um, and it was like an overnight thing. Like it was an all of a sudden thing, so that we didn't know about it till we woke up this morning, if you live, in this country anyway. We woke up in the morning and there it was. They did it in the evening, 8 something um, p.m. Iran local time. So this was supposed to take everybody by surprise. Again, remember the question is, why did they do it? The final card in our line of five is this young man who is brash and bold and doesn't think things through. Um, and the clarifiers are the rider, the lily, and the stork. I really think that they think that by declaring war, it'll kind of calm things down in other arenas. Those arenas being that arena being the files. Uh, I mean, what odd cards, right? We'll create a stir over here, and that'll calm things down here at home. No, no, it won't. I pulled my three postscript cards, so it's like, is there anything else I can say about this? We have the letter, the moon, and the coffin. Again, these are the files. These are the files. And a war notwithstanding, his administration and he himself, the felon, his reputation is sunk and sinking by the second. Uh, MAGA, who some of them will say that they voted for him because he was the president who said, or the candidate who said, we would not be involving ourselves in these foreign wars, these forever wars. Well, what did he just do overnight? He planted 2 feet solidly in another country again, not the first time, and has now embroiled us in what could well end up being one of those forever wars. This time not in Iraq, but in Iran. And why? Because his friend wanted it, Bibi, and because he thought it would be a distraction, and because the felon himself is greedy and would like the resources of Iran. I guess the deal that they struck is, okay, felon, says Bibi, you can have the oil, we'll take the land. So that's what I see on that. Um, I guess the next question that I want to ask is, um, what will be what comes next? Uh, I know Congress is up in arms. Uh, in a kind of a bilateral way, there are Republicans who are saying, wait a minute, what? We weren't consulted. So that's good. You have other Republicans like Lindsey, who's all gung ho for it. But, Lindsey allegedly is quite compromised himself. I won't go into the details of that. They're available readily. But there are Republican legislators who are saying, wait, what? And there is MAGA saying, wait, what? They don't like it. So I think what I want to do is look at how having done this will what effect will this have on the felon? I guess that's the question. So sadly, I will have to use my older man card, and he will stand for the felon. No, you know what? I'll use the bear because the bear is the card for the narcissistic bully. It means other wonderful things as well. But here, my intention is to imbue the bear card with the energy of the narcissistic bully in chief, the felon in chief. How will this overnight move um, affect him? It was hinted at in the postscript, the three final cards that I just pulled just now, but let's see if we can get any more fulsome answer from the cards. So we're going to look for the bear. This stands for the felon. Interesting. So we have the ring, we have the garden, we have the felon, we have the heart, and we have the stork. And, you know, there will, of course, be some sort of response on the part of Iran. They've already responded by attacking certain US and Israeli holdings in various places in the Middle East, including, for example, Abu Dhabi. So they've done that. But there will be consequences, and we know what happens when um, we are attacked. Uh, Whoever the president is, people tend to rally around that person. And that is what the felon is counting on. Um, you know, the ring, he's hoping that he can sort of get people all together back inside the circle. What people? The public. He thinks that the public will again rally around him, because now he's this wartime president, even though Congress has not approved the war. Uh, that he will be loved for this bold action and that things will improve for him. This is, I feel, more aspirational. This is what he hopes will happen. I pulled clarifiers, not on everything, but on the last three cards. So here he is. And the clarifiers are the rider, the whip, and the tree. I think that rather than being hailed as a conquering hero, the message that he will get will be, you dumb, why did you do this? I think there will be a lot of infighting and fighting that we will be privy to across the aisle. I think people are just really mad. And I'm just going to say that I think this will have an effect on his health. This is the card for health. Um, we have the heart here. And you all know that this is the card for love. That's great, but it's also the card for the anatomical heart. And I feel like it is that. So, the Epstein situation is still weighing on him. Get it? The noose is tightening around him. Um, he is really anxious and doesn't know what's going to happen. And I think this affects his heart, um, meaning that, he probably has palpitations and all the rest of it. Blood pressure is probably through the roof, etc. Now, this last card in the line of five is the stork, and the stork is about positive improvement. Clarifiers are the bouquet, the dog, and the letter. I've already seen that there are other governments, like, for example, Canada, who came out in support of what the US and Israel did. Mark Carney did. I'm not sure what that's about, to tell you the truth. Again, is the Iran government great? No, they're not. They're incredibly repressive. Um, but I feel like, I don't know, in the short term, um, and I think this is only in the short term, the felon will be able to garner some goodwill for what he and Israel did. However, I can mirror this last card. This is the files. They're not going anywhere. One thing has nothing to do with the other, except, of course, that it does, because everything comes back to the files and money and power and who has it and who wants it. It's all related. So I think that this will have proved to be, for the moment, an effective distraction, but he's only delaying the inevitable because those files are not going anywhere. The issues around those files are not going anywhere. Uh, let's see, what else do I want to look at today? Oh, so I'm trying to say this in a not obvious way. You know how you know what happens in the winter when um, water freezes? So that's what I'm talking about. Okay. The dessert that we love to eat, and the second word in the name is cream. That's what I'm talking about. So we have been led to believe that they have left um, the building, that they have left a certain location in the Midwest that starts with an M. But word on the ground is that the only people who have left are the press, and that are still deeds being done there that should not be. So that's what I want to look at. I'm hoping I'm being enigmatic enough because I don't want to get flagged. Um, so let's see how I can do this. Um, let's use the garden for the people of the state of M, that place in the Midwest. It's very cold right now, and even colder because of the presence of water that is frozen, if you know my get my drift. Let's see how they're doing. So we're going to use the garden for the people there. Okay, so this is the for the people of the state of M, and you know what that is. Yeah, okay. I think it's pretty clear from these parts. We have the coffin, and we have the anchor, we have the garden, we have the house, and we have the ship. So I think that yes, that frozen water is still there in force, in force, um, doing their dirt and just really planted in there, despite what we've been told. Um, the garden is in the middle. This is the people of that place, and that the White House is going ahead with their plans. They're continuing what they were doing there. So this is something we need to be aware of, and we need to shake that tree. Um, I'll pull clarifiers for the people there. Yeah, I think it's just really important to the people there that we keep them in our um, sight and in our awareness and in our consciousness. I think that's really important that those of us who have a platform do that um, for the sake of whatever is to come. They have been used as a testing ground for the rest of us. And so I think it's really important that we make noise about what's going on there. If you have friends there, ask them what's going on. Because it sounds like things have not calmed down, changed, been decreased, eased up, none of that. No. So, I just wanted to do that check on my own, and sure enough. All right. Now, what I had said I was going to do, this was yesterday before the attack on Iran. I said I was going to look at the month of April for the felon because there's a lot of speculation out there that April could be quite a month. And I have let's see, where's my, mm, I have this little tiny desk and, oh, here we go. And I had notes that I took, and I guess I put them down here so they'd be off the table. Uh, but I wanted to read something, if I can find it. Mm, it's here. Yeah, I think it's on a pad. Hmm. Well, you know what? I can't find it. I don't know where I put these notes. Is it here? No. Oh, I'm looking on the wrong pad. Ah, that would do it. All right. Thank you for your patience. So I wanted to read just the first couple of lines from a poem. You probably, many of you maybe have figured it out since I said I want to talk about the felon's April, particularly in regard to his health. And so I wanted to read the first lines from T.S. Eliot's poem, which is incredibly long, just so you know, called The Wasteland. You may have read it if you were, an English major or took a required course in college. The Wasteland, and it was published in 1922. And it says these lines: April is the cruelest month, breeding lilacs out of the dead land, mixing memory and desire, stirring dull roots with spring rain. Point being, in so much of at least this country, we are in still the throes of winter, not here in sunny San Diego where it's the 80s, but anyway, in a lot of places around the country, it's cold and there's still snow on the ground. And snow has a kind of anesthetizing, quieting, dulling, dimming effect. And then we have spring, and things start to wake up. And some of the things that wake up might be things that we prefer stay asleep. Um, and I think that the felon's health could very well be one of those things that has seemed kind of relatively status quo for a while. But I feel like I want to check and see, will he rise like Lazarus, or will he um, have a big downturn? I think something will happen in April. I don't know. So, um, you know what? I think what I'm going to do, I have tarot over here. I have a new tarot deck. I think I mentioned it yesterday. This is not that. But I'll be using that new tarot deck over on Substack probably. Maybe tomorrow I will use it. I'll be on with Violetta from Psychic Violetta. That's tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific. Um, so what's that, 2 o'clock Eastern? So if you want to join us, we will be looking at the issues of the day, and you can join us live over there. I've already put the thing up for that. But this is just a regular Smith-Waite deck. And so I think what I'll do is I will pull um, 4 cards for each, one card for each of the weeks of April. And then I will use Lenormand to clarify those tarot cards. So for the first week of April, for the second week of April, for the third week of April, and for the fourth week of April. And really, I am only intending to look at the felon's health. That's all I'm interested in this reading. Uh, so I'll do it like this. Clarifiers for the first week, clarifiers for the second week, clarifiers for the third week, and clarifiers for the fourth week. All right, let's see what we get. Who knows, right? So this is the first week. This is the Six of Wands. Sometimes people call this the victory card. And, you know, the felon, who, by the way, already had told us that Iran's nuclear power had been disabled permanently, and then come to find out it only took him a week to sort of retool. But anyway, um, now with this attack, he will want to be hailed as the conquering hero. This is in the first week of April. Remember, I'm skipping March and I'm moving to April. So I guess he will still be in that energy, because he will probably be feeling this way for the month of March as well. But anyway, this is the first week in April. The clarifiers for this are the star, the letter, and the stork. So I think that he will feel in the beginning of April, and also probably in March, that, you know, moving forward, he has effectively changed the conversation to one that is more appealing to him, which is what a big bad bully he and his buddy Bibi were in Iran, and how rich we're all going to be because we're going to get all their oil. That's what I think. I think he will think that he has, moved the needle, changed the conversation, and turn the page, to use all the metaphors I can think about. Okay, second week of April, we have the Two of Swords. So as you can see, this is a blindfolded figure with two swords, her arms crossed, and this, they say, is the card for indecision. Indecision. So, okay, I did that. I got rid of the Ayatollah. We're in there now. Now what? Makes sense, right? Indecision. What did we do and why did we do it and what do we do next? Clarifiers are the whip, the fish, and the tree. So there will be lots of arguments because this was, an illegal act of war because Congress did not declare war, and he may not get that declaration retroactively. So there's going to be a lot of arguments about this, probably public ones, hearings, and stuff like that. That would be the whip there. A lot of feeling around this, a lot of emotion around this. This will affect his health. So he will start to have, I mean, he already looks rode hard and put up wet. He looks bad. But with this uh, tree card here, I think that his emotions will get the best of him. This is also a card for circulatory issues as well. So he will start to have more circulatory issues, which have to do with, obviously, with the big pump in your chest, which is your heart. Third week of April, the sun. Now, they say the sun is the best card in the deck. You know that there's a sun card in my Lenormand, right? But what is true for Lenormand is also true for tarot, which is as good generally as this card is. Sometimes the sun is about light and heat. And I think that this felon will have a lot of light and heat on him for everything that he's doing that's illegal. Clarifiers are the book, the house, ah, and like a bad penny, the women, the files. So the spotlight turns up in the 1, 2, third week of April in ways that are unexpected, and things get uncovered about the occupant of the White House that have to do with the women, the files. What I think is that by April, those however many pages that were pulled out of the documents that we are theorizing have specifically and negatively to do with the felon, I think they will be made public. This is what's hidden, but look what happens to it. It's brought to light. It's uncovered. It's shown. So for all of his efforts at distraction, I think by the third week in April, um, there will be no one in captivity that could argue that he is blameless when it comes to the files and that he was a big player. I'm not going to say he's the player because I don't even think Epstein was the player. I think there are people above Epstein and the felon who run this show. But uh, his role, now those documents, I think those hidden documents will come out. Fourth week for the felon. This is April. Okay. We have the Four of Cups. And the clarifiers are the son again, the young man, and the older man. I think that this is going to be um, deep dissatisfaction. That is the card for this. Like he can't even, notice the cup that's being handed to him. He's just busy being not looking, not paying attention, etc. He's distracted by his own thoughts. And I think that what will happen is that MAGA will not be charmed anymore by the felon. I don't think so. I think whatever he holds out to them, they're going to be like, nah, son, with their hands folded, their legs crossed. If that's not some serious body language saying, pass me, miss me with that, I don't know what is. So I think this is MAGA saying, we're not buying what you're selling. And that MAGA sees him for who he is. The son, again, showing MAGA who he is. Um, Now, am I saying that I see his impending demise in April? Not from this spread do I see his physical demise. But what I do see in this spread is his unmasking and his unraveling in real time on the part of bigger and bigger swaths of the American public. Um, again, if you liked him because he was going to drain the swamp, how do you feel now that you know he is the swamp? If you liked him because he was going to end the forever wars, how do you like it that now we are going to be enmeshed in Iran because Israel wanted us to be? So he will be bleeding support from every orifice, and there won't be anything he can do to stop it. I think, though, uh, I can mirror, I can mirror this card of victory with this final card, which is him. Even as all of these things are going on, remember, he is still, his mind is still deteriorating. So, in his own mind, you know, he bombed Iran and he won the Nobel Peace Prize and he won the Olympics and, you know, all of it in his mind. But in the eyes of the rest of us, he is truly the emperor with no clothes. So April may not be the end, but it may well be the cruelest month because it will mark his public unraveling in a real way amongst, as I said, a wider swath of people than ever before. So that's what I think will happen. All right, I will let you be about the business of your Saturday. Uh, Again, I will be here at 11 a.m. Pacific, which is 2 p.m. Eastern, and I will be with Violetta from Psychic Violetta. I don't know if it's also going to be on her channel after the fact, but you can certainly watch it on mine. It will be live, so bring your questions. Someone asked me, should we bring our own personal questions? No, this is not that. She and I both do personal readings, but you have to contact us um, through email for that. This is just about the issues of the day. Anything is fair game. Uh, Violetta uses tarot, but more than that, she's really clairvoyant. So she will, you know, we'll give her a question. I don't know if you've ever seen her. This is what she does. So you'll give her a question, and then she'll have me say one, two, three, at which point she pulls three cards. but she doesn't even look at the cards. And then she says what she sees. And what she sees will be some metaphor for the answer to the question. And so she will tell the metaphor and then show the cards. And invariably, the metaphorical picture that she has painted in her head and the cards will give the answer to the question. She's pretty phenomenal. She's really amazing, and I love having her on. I've been on her channel as well. So if you would like to do that, that will be 11. If you want to come live, and of course, if you can't come live, you can always watch the replay. So thank you so much for all your likes, shares, subscribes, hypes, and especially your comments. I really appreciate all of it. And I will see you tomorrow with Violetta. Take care.